Hey everyone, this month's edition of Live in the Sunroom, certainly the loudest Sunroom session we've had to date and arguably one of the most energetic. We're talking about raw, riff-driven rock and roll. Today we're spending time with the guys from Foxy Mojo. Foxy Mojo is a local band that's got a lot going on. The band is fronted by Tristan London and his brother. These two guys had almost given up on their rock and roll dreams, but they kept at it. They put this band together a little more than a year ago, and now their lives are about to change as a result. Foxy Mojo performs live in the Sunroom.
One, two, three, four! Slave to your affection, your adoring high esteem. What I crave is some connection for a soul that's mine again. And I hear you when you make this, when you prove you are the throne. And my hand just scream the surface, like a tightly around. Baby, I don't care where you go, where you lay your head to rest. Baby, it's all just for the best, and you don't know who I am. 'Cause you heard that woman I said, I don't need to find a man. Can I call you when you're sleeping, like the dawn's your way? Is your heart fresh for the reaping? I just want what's mine to take. Can I feel you with the purpose? Set my key into the light. When my hand just gave me surface, let me wind you like a baby, I don't care where you go, where you lay your head to rest. Baby, it's all just for the best, and you don't know who I am. 'Cause you heard that you were asking, I don't need you by the bed tonight. Slave to your affection, you're a whole in high esteem. What I crave is some connection for a soul that's mine again. Can I hear you when you're nervous? Let me pull you off your throne. Let my hand just give me something, wrap them tightly around you. Baby, I don't care where you go, where you lay your head to rest. Baby, it's all just for the best, if you don't know who I am. 'Cause you heard that word I said, I don't need street fighting men. Baby, I don't care, yeah. I don't care, yeah. I don't care, yeah.
the greatest feeling is the fact that, like, there's a misconception with us that, when we first came into the scene, initially I was excited because it was, predominantly indie rock scene now. And so I thought, okay, we're coming back in and now we're going to kind of fit in and feel more at home. But surprisingly, at the very beginning, there was quite a bit of animosity towards us just because, I don't know if it was just because of the way we handled ourselves on stage and things like that, or even just the name. Like, the name Foxy Mojo seems to, like, get people like that. We weren't taken seriously at the very beginning.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that we did, though, was just we worked really, really hard. And so the feeling now is just like everything that we gave up to make this happen was worth it. Like, there's a scar, like, on my vein from donating blood just to be able to, push money into the band by any means necessary. We worked terrible jobs that we hated. We did so many things to just keep the band alive. And the thing is, like, we kept those struggles away. Like, on our social media, we have a thing where we don't post about, like, if we're having a bad day or what we do to keep the band alive. So, but we post the great things that happen. So people have this weird, sometimes misconception that, oh, well, everything's just handed to us. Because in this year's time, before all this happened, we released a debut album. We got selected, and we've been having constant radio play in the UK. We're about to release a brand new EP and a music video, and that costs a lot of money to do professionally. But what had happened was we got selected by a website called Live Amp, and what they do is they spotlight independent artists. You can make your profile on there, and it searches for investors. But they had heard us and selected us to actually be published and spotlighted. So it wasn't like we were just another, band that was on that article. Okay. They had us spotlighted on the front page and talked about all the achievements that we had gotten so far, all the interviews that we'd done around the city, other publications. And, the fact that, I think when we were like 5 months old, we opened up for the Goo Goo Dolls over there, and because we competed to be in the Downtown Street Festival, and we got into that. Wow. So they spotlighted us, and that actually, got us an investor who put a large sum of money, believing in us. He never met us, it was brokered, but that spotlight article, boosted us even more, and that helped us get to the point where, everything that we have that's about to come out, the EP, the new songs, the music video that we filmed in LA for MTV rotation.
Talk to me a little bit about the music. How would you describe it, and what is it that you guys wanted to make when you were thinking of making the band in terms of a sound?
Okay, well, let me back up a little bit. With Tristan, he's more of British rock. He likes, the easiest way to explain it is he prefers the Beatles, and I myself prefer Elvis Presley. Got it. So, I like those basic, blues, the blues shuffle and stuff like that. And he's more of just, it's very unusual timing, it's really out there. And so when we clashed that's the sound that we made. He puts a lot of distortion on me when I want to back up, but when he puts the distortion, it sounds really good. I'm like, oh, wow, that's okay. But that's the easiest way to put it. It's just the Beatles and Elvis Presley, and that's how we were able to make the songs that we make.
You guys are about energy, and
yes.
You guys are about right? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't get a sense that there's a lot of moments of doubt. It seems to me that you guys are pretty aggressive about what you want to do on stage.
Definitely. It's just more of if I miss a wrong note, that doesn't matter. But if I'm just standing there like a statue, and nobody pays money to go see that. No one wants to go see the recording on the CD. They can listen to that at home. Right. Even I want to perform, it's like a movie. It's not scripted, but it's just, that's how I see it. I don't want to be boring for my audience, so I want to put on a show for them and put as much energy in that's how I get, the tone out of my guitar. It's just the love of music that I have. But that's the reason that we play so energetically.
It's funny because people that might have said something who just didn't know us, have actually come to enjoy us, because once you actually meet us in person, like, we're really the nicest people. The bands that I genuinely love, I will do anything for. After this, I'm going to the Battle of Bands for Lowbrow to go to support two of my, my favorite bands in El Paso. And that's genuinely how we are. But, the image and things like that has people thinking that we walk around with our heads above a lot of other people, but genuinely we don't. Yeah. And that's because the one thing is, like, you can't get involved in that stuff. And I think that's one of the things that hopefully one day, like, I wanted to be able to, if we ever got big enough, it was my goal to be able to come back and try to fix that, because people don't want to listen to somebody that they think is either competition or equal, but if you have something behind you to show,
Yeah.
they're tend to listen to you. And my dream, if we ever made it, bigger, it wasn't like what car am I gonna buy, what house am I gonna buy. It was, maybe ever doing like a honest to God record label in El Paso, or being able to help the community, or a new venue, or just being able to have the power to just make a difference, because there's a lot of talent in this city.
We just didn't put our band together a year ago. Tristan and I have been putting money and hours into this. So it was more like we put 2-3 years, this band together 2-3 years ago, me and him, and then we needed a drummer and a bassist because we don't have 4 arms, But it just didn't happen in a year. This was a long time, and this was a lot of hours. This was a lot of jobs that we said, this isn't for us. There was a lot of money that, we don't need to eat. I need a new pair of strings. I need those picks. I need a new guitar. My credit doesn't matter. My future does right now. So it's not just a year. It was a very, very long time.